Hello, it's Nikki. How you doing? Firstly, I'm sure you can hear my dishwasher in the background. And secondly, my computer, which is about to take off. I am having one of those lovely, juicy work days. You know, when you just sit down and you get stuff done. It's been a really successful day in that way. Also because I'm going to have a week off next week. And I just want to get things in order. I was marching around the house this morning saying everything's going to be clean and sorted. And I was that person. I don't know where I am in my cycle, actually. Probably need to check that out. But I was very, very focused in that opinion. So another great bundle for you today. And I'm going to set you a challenge. And that is to challenge your thinking of what you think you might need. And I often do this when I'm feeling a bit stuck and I go for things that I think that I know. So I might do this in the supermarket where I'm like, oh, I've got no ideas. Oh, I'll just go for that same old thing. But when I feel stuck, when I feel like I'm in a pattern, I challenge myself to, this is all time allowing, but I challenge myself to cook something different or I walk a different way home. So as you're listening to these episodes, I want you to think about the people who perhaps you don't resonate with and go back and listen to those episodes. And here's why. Sometimes somebody being the opposite of you and doing things in a different way will challenge your thinking and therefore challenge your action. I think it's too tempting in this industry just to do things and follow suit from people who look and feel and sound like us and are maybe in a similar situation. So I challenge you to add a little bit more spice or flavor or alternative in the mix, because that's when you will shake up your ideas. That's when you will become truly unique. I don't like that feeling where I can tell where somebody's trained or the program that somebody's just finishing, because it feels like it's just a direct reflection of what they've been taught. When it gets really interesting and juicy is when you make it your own. Right, let me do a quick roundup of who you're going to hear today. First up, Holly Matthews, who is an actor, blogger, vlogger, and business and mindset coach. She's also a published author. And if you are a fan of a reel, you're going to want to check her out on social media because she does them so brilliantly. Secondly, Frankie Tortora, who is a graphic designer and the founder of Doing It for the Kids. She's recently migrated her Facebook group to a members platform. And Frankie's a great friend of mine. We used to live very close together, but she's now moved out of London. But she speaks really frankly, not only in this episode, but online about freelancing, about being a parent, about just running your own gig and all of the stuff that comes with that. Number 3, this is one of the ones that I actually did face to face. So we did this in my spare room in my old house. This is with Esther Coren, or Esther Walker is her other name. She's a journalist. She writes for so many papers that you'd be familiar with and magazines. But this is a really juicy one about money and negotiating and setting your rates. We also talk about being a man, being a woman in the media industry, and how there may be money that we are leaving on the table. And she explains why in the episode. And finally, Dr. Pragya. She's an academic and a creative strategist. And she's one of these people who just blows my mind. I love following her online. I love what she has to say. She really challenges my thinking, and maybe it's because she comes from that very academic place that she really makes things make sense and explains the why behind the result, behind the solution. So I've got loads of great stuff in store for you today. So I will stop chatting. I will leave these episodes with you. As always, you can go back and listen to any of the full episodes just by typing their name or my name into iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And also, if there's something that you want to do, if there's something you want to build, make happen, do come over to my shop, nikkiroby.com/shop, and you will find out how we can work together and how I can support you further. All right, let's do this.
And you learn all the time, and you don't have to get it perfect. You don't have to be perfect to get started. You just try and you get better. Yeah. You know, I look back on my stuff as will you, and you look back on your beginning stuff and you go, actually, that was a bit rubbish, but it wasn't rubbish at the time, and people probably bought it and people probably got some benefit from it. And it might not have been as pretty and it might not have functioned quite the way you wanted it to, but these are things that you learn. And I don't think you need to get so stuck in every single detail being perfect, because actually you'll just get stuck in this procrastination, this perfection rubbish, and you won't move forward. It just doesn't have to be perfect. You can do it, and as long as you acknowledge your growth, and because I find it very inspiring when I see top coaches and they're going, actually this didn't work for me, and I did this and I shifted and I changed and I moved and I did this because it wasn't working for me anymore, it didn't feel right. I've lots of respect for that. These are just saying, yeah, well, I'm with you on this journey, and I think that's the truth. And you and I, in some ways, maybe it's the northern thing, I don't know, but we have certain similarities in our branding in terms of we just try to keep it quite real, and that makes us sound mega gangster, keeping it real. But we are gangster.
I think what we're doing is that we're working with people perhaps at their most vulnerable state, or at that, the amount, I don't know if you've had it, but I've certainly had it, where I've had coaching clients that at the end of it, at the end of the session, they go, oh, it felt so good to say that out loud. I haven't told anyone this, by the way. And I'm thinking, wow, like you haven't told your husband, you haven't told your wife, you haven't told your friend, nothing. And it's just been like this idea, this business idea maybe, that's been cooking in their head. And I just think, oh wow, I'm in such a privileged position. And I always, like you do, endeavour to show up with heart and soul, and like, don't worry, you're okay, you're going to be taken care of. And how have you done it with social pressure?
Well, that's part of it, isn't it? It's like people want you to do it, so you feel like you should do it. But I think also just like talking to people that I know about it. I mean, I'm an anxious person, but I'm very good at talking about my anxiety.
Yeah.
So, I spoke to people about it. Like, I made friends with a lady called Juliet through Doing It for Kids, who basically has become my like life coach, and I WhatsApp like every day. She's like, "It's fine, just do it, you'll be fine." So yeah, people like that, people like you that I've spoken to about it, just having like a sounding board to say, this is what I'm afraid of, and people going, well, all of those things are going to be fine, and you'll be all right. Yes. And what else that can happen, basically. Because a lot of the time anxiety is so internalized and just becomes, as I said, you're catastrophizing everything, and it all gets blown out of proportion. But actually, in reality, it's just some people in a room like having a cup of tea. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's not going to... Nobody's going to die.
Exactly. And also, I was just thinking that when you first become a parent, people aren't actually, it doesn't matter what you do in your working life, what spectacular things you've done. If your child is learning to walk or can learn to feed themselves, or, is turning around or managed to turn on the TV, whatever it might be, that is far more impressive to those people around you. So you do need people in your life who are still going to see you, not like literally, but actually hear what you're saying, as well as you being a separate person. Talking of tea, Maxine from the Facebook group, who is in episode 1, by the way, if you want to go back and listen to that, has asked you, what's your ultimate favourite biscuit?
Oh my gosh. Too many, man. Too many. I sort of want to say Choco Leibniz, because it's basically chocolate. Do you know the one I mean?
No, what are they? We'll have them in the show notes, guys, so you can go and do an Amazon order.
It's like a little biscuit, like a Nice style curvy edged biscuit, quite thin, and then it's just coated in like 5 ml of dark chocolate. It's like 80%.
Yes.
That's pretty good. Or like a hobnob. I love a hobnob.
Crunch cream, Fox's crunch cream.
Oh yes, dippage. Yeah.
They're quite disgusting to watch somebody eat them, but actually, so if you can just eat them in private, then that's all the better.
It's fine. We work from home. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly. I would have maybe, well, I don't know if it's a chocolate bar or a biscuit, but I used to be a big fan of Twixes, and then I had them like literally every day of me being pregnant, and I can't really look one in the eye anymore because I feel like it's taken me back there. So my demographic, the demographic that I am, 37, 2 children, whatever, this life stage, this is a group of people that brands have decided is worth marketing to. Oh, yeah. And they're worth marketing at. Hitherto, they haven't bothered because people my age and my life stage haven't got any money because they spend it all on their children. Yeah. And I don't know if the same thing is true. What? So expensive children. I know. So I don't know beyond that what has changed, but certainly lots of brands have now decided that we are a demographic that's worth marketing to. Yeah, and we're sitting on our phones looking at all this stuff. We're buying it from there. And they've also decided, or maybe they've just decided that whatever money this age group are going to spend, they want it. Yeah. They want to have it. So they are much more open to marketing directly to this age group, rather than just constantly marketing to teenagers.
So when I met my eldest, I was really young, and I brought her up as a single parent. I did my PhD and everything alongside with that. And as a single parent, we moved from India to the UK, and I brought her up and did my academic career and moved ahead. So it's always been kind of part of me that somehow having a child drives me forward.
I was just going to say, did you know how strong you were in that situation? Did you know that you had that in you, as it were?
I never actually, even until recently, when people started telling me, that's amazing, you did that, I never thought that I was being strong. It's just something I had to do, and you just get on the task and you think, this is what I have to do and this is what I will do. And and I wasn't particularly, I mean, there were times you don't always feel strong. There are times when you have wobbles and you think, I can't do this. But when you're a parent, you just have to get up and do it because somebody else relies on you, I suppose, as well. If I'm feeling ill, I can't just stay in bed, or if I'm feeling anxious or depressed, I can't just wallow in it because I don't have the time and the space to do it because my 2 kids now who are 21-month-old rely on me. So it's been tough, but I think having my businesses has really made me a better parent in some ways, and also just having that me time, because that's as you said, bringing yourself completely to the table is just all part of me, the whole bundle. So it just kind of hustle and just get along.
Have there been any things that have just made all the difference, or have really surprised you of how effective they've been?
In terms of efficiency or productivity?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, anything to make life easier, I guess.
I would really love a cleaner, but I can't find one. In terms of, I think I've been surprised by the number of women I've met online and the communities that I've formed online. Yes. Working from home can be quite isolating, especially as a parent when you're dealing with so much other stuff around you and you're trying to do this as well. And you don't have the opportunity to bounce ideas, but it's just been amazing how many inspiring women I've met, the networks I've formed, the kind of advice I've got. It's just the space to be able to say how I feel. And I've been really surprised by that. There's so many amazing women out there. That's been fantastic. My husband's a great support. He takes up so much of, we are an equal partnership. I don't feel like I'm kind of being a mother or a father. It's about being a parent. So we equally pitch in. We don't have any close friends or family nearby, so we don't have that support here. But otherwise, just making lists. I make a lot of lists.
Yeah, me too. Love them.
And just being able to again, I think the passion and for enthusiasm for what I'm doing really drives me forward, because there are times when I would say, okay, I'm really tired after they've gone to bed at 10 o'clock or 10:30 and 11, and I can still find the strength to work till maybe 2 or 3 in the morning or something, just because I want to do it, or it's not about somebody forcing me to do it, I think.
Yes.